Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. Let's see if we are live. It looks like we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to some more Minecraft in our wonderful little weird villager area that we're working on today. Yeah. We've got a little bit of fun planned, and I did something, between last episode and this episode, that's kind of rare for me when it comes to Minecraft builds. I got myself a little bit of a reference. Normally when it comes to Minecraft builds, I kind of just go off of whatever I feel works in my mind, and, hang on 1 second, that is incorrect. I'm hearing my sounds incorrectly, then I realized that my speakers were still on my headphones. That would have been a very interesting moment. But I went and found myself a bit of a reference, like a few reference drawings, basically, for what I was feeling for the design of this area, because, well, what we're designing is not easily a necessary, or necessarily easy feat, if I could word. So some of you will probably recognize the reference immediately, others will need the greater context. Yes, hi Wolf Doge, you're here to listen to me talk lore, apparently. For those of you who haven't heard of the Infinity Castle from Demon Slayer, and I don't watch Demon Slayer. I don't watch many animes right now because I don't really have the time to. The idea of the Infinity Castle, however, has just permeated through enough of what I've been doing, to the point where, yeah, the Infinity Castle has kind of slipped into an idea that I wanted to try for this build. And that's not an easy idea to state, I will say that. It is not a very easy concept to run off of. However, the idea itself basically is built along the fact that we're basically going to have this build be all over the place and a little bit chaotic, to put it simply, as I try and grab some stuff while I have hiccups from shoveling down food so that I could get stream started, because he who overslept again, because of everything. But, you know, with that, the whole concept of this area is going to be basically built around the fact that as we're going to go up, I'm going to kind of go a bit wider, like, consistently, and just try and get everywhere. I see they're randomly losing their beds. That's not right. Yeah, that's not correct. They're randomly losing beds. Because Deadmoth just lost the bedroom in here that they had. How do I make sure that works? Because that's a problem that we can't go having. I mean, it looks like it was just random error that happened. If I really need to, I can kind of build some walls and stuff into the rooms and whatnot. Anyways, until further notice, really, I'm intending on kind of working on some of these lobby spaces just to try and get us that sort of feel where we're kind of working in the same aspects that this area did. However, I would like to decorate more just architecturally as well, just due to the fact that, like, that area feels a little bit bland to me right now. And I feel like it could use a bit more to it. So yeah, that's kind of what we're gonna work on today, is just a whole bunch of for for the villager tower, try and get a little bit of that Infinity Castle feel as we go up from here on out. And hopefully, you know, build something that is kind of cool, because I've been really enjoying this area, and I would love to have the ability to continue building something like this, you know, just for the funsies of it, because, yeah, no, it is a really cool build idea that, you know, now that I kind of, started working on it, started to realize that we kind of already have a bit of that essence in the build, that, like, yeah, you know, I think we could shoot for it, and we can try it, and we can have some fun. The problem just basically becomes making sure that we continue that sort of design, especially when they can hop down onto here now. I just realized that is a dangerous proposition that I will need to be smart about. Right. How does this work? Yeah, I do the corner that it lands on entirely. Okay, and then boom, boom, there we go. So as we go up, I'm going to kind of expand a bit more that way. And the other thing is like, so we're aware that the Infinity Castle idea doesn't really just apply to just here. Like, if you haven't really caught on with how I'm doing a lot of my base, it really does kind of apply to everywhere in the base at the end of the day. It's just here is going to be one of the most evident locations for it. Excuse me as I take a drink of my wonderfully cold liquid. So yeah, let's start designing some stuff here. So one of the things that I've seen commonly used is a lot of like bookshelves and stuff like that. That's something that we will want to extend up from, you know, this area. And additionally, we're going to want to kind of continue to use some of our more technical, like, furnishing pieces that we've done in the past, where it's like, you know, we're using some buttons in some locations, we're using some framed stuff, like paintings and stuff need to start showing up there. We should probably do a bit of, like, the deep slate stuff. Sorry. Blah, 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 blah. Throat is not alive right now for some odd reason, but that is fine. We should also probably get some roofing done up there as well in certain areas, just to make it have that sort of feel. We want some glass as well in there. Like, really, in all honesty, we want the whole shebang shaboodle right now, for lack of better words. And yeah, I need my glass from upstairs, because my upstairs is where all my glass is, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, no, I think as we keep on working, this will, you know, make a relatively interesting idea for us to build off of, work on, and, you know, just having a nice little micro reference for, you know, just looking at some ideas for how to build some stuff does, to my understanding, really help out within, you know, building. And I almost did the crouch thing again, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't have to crouch in here anymore. I don't have to, you know, scooch myself all the way through here. I can just make it up here. Yeah, so let's try and emulate a bit of this that we did in the past, where I was using some of these staircases to kind of border boundary some stuff. And let's also grab some bookcases as well. I'm going to yoink some of that. Do I have any bookcases just sitting around from over creation of any kind? No, not really, from the looks of it. Do I have any in here? No, and no. which also means I probably do not have any anywhere. Just knowing me. Yeah, knowing me, no bookcases because we used them all. Okay, let's get some... Do I have much for leather? That I do know should be plenty of. We don't need that many. And then, do I have... I mean, I should have the ability to go make a bunch of paper, in all honesty. Oh my god, and I can even walk directly into here. Do you know how nice this is? Genuinely, the ability to just walk into here is something that I have very, very, very much missed. Okay, so stack of books basically is what we've got there. We'll be upgrading the sugarcane farm probably in the future. Papa. Boom. And then book. Yum. And then bookshelf. Yum. That works too. We can also take just a few of these for extras. You know, run some empty bookshelves here and there. And let's head back downstairs because I think that that'll give us plenty of what we need, basically, for what I would like to at least get done today. Plus, maybe build up some ideas towards what we're doing with the future. Yeah. But no, like, really, in all honesty, the build kind of is already meant to be a bit more of a, like, kind of, you know, walkable version of the Infinity Castle without as many giant air spaces, just because that's kind of how I've designed it already. And as such, you know, like, part of the design philosophy then does become, like, you know, my want to, you know, build up this kind of giant structure that's all about, you know, like, being, you know, slightly disorienting, but, you know, as you get through it, you know, it's kind of like, oh, it feels like a home rather than anything else, you know. That's kind of always been, like, the way that I tend to design stuff is, like, you know, to a first-time viewer, this place is disorienting as hell, and I get that because it is huge, it's got a lot of space to it, and, you know, like, the general travel space that you go through to get anywhere within my base is actually a relatively large travel amount, but like as soon as you get used to making said travels, you kind of just don't even really care about where you're heading, and you know, it's like really easy to go find yourself to the collection or anything like that. And you know, end goal is that inevitably I don't really care too much about how I go somewhere. No, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Wolf Doge, you are a monster, and we despise you, and now I have to figure out how to get you back in. Are you kidding me? Wolf Doge might be dying. You absolute idiot. Okay, how the frick do I get Wolf Doge back in here? I'm like, I know there's a creeper behind me, from what I saw. Of course, Wolf Doge is standing right next to the creeper. Are you kidding me? Wolf Doge. Wolf Doge. I get it, you want to go home. You want to go back to your friggin' village. Please, Wolf Doge, don't do this. Don't do this, Wolf Doge. Okay, yes, please come back. Please, come back. Oh, thank God you are lucky that I am able to have quickly realized what that was. I realized what was happening there, and we saved it. Okay. Honestly, there is the me who does want to just build that straight across and then have a window right there. That actually would be kind of cool. Yeah. You know what? Let's do that. Let's just do that. Now, I will admit, the idea that we are doing is not going to be very Infinite Castle. It is going to be very much, non-Infinite Castle, that we are performing here. However, it's still cool, and it's still an inspiration. Where the frick did I put that crafting table? I really should have one up here. Because I thought I did have one up here at some point, but, you know. Yeah, it's a bit of boo. I mean, I know I have one over here, but I thought I had one upstairs as well. Anyways, glass pane. Glass pane. There we go. That is what we would like to do. And that just gets to go right in here, sit here, go boop, 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 boop. And I did just realize we are going to have to remove those stairs that we just put up there. And apparently some of the wood, because I can't click properly. So that we can get what we were after there. Okay, there we go, and boom, boom. There we go. Now that looks neat. That looks interesting, and I do like it. So little weird strips that are kind of flat like this. We are actually going to open up, so that you can see into their places and whatnot, and give them a bit more openings into their abode. We're not going to do like too much. There's still a thing of privacy, that we are caring about and we are worrying about, but like already just by doing that, this view looks way more intriguing than this view right now. Like this view is still intriguing, don't get me wrong, what with the repetition that's going on here and everything else that's happening, but of the two views, right now, I like the view that has more interaction with this wall as a sort of intriguing space, and it's making me kind of want to build a sort of, let me see here, a bit of a lounge chair that, just sits itself right here, that we use some, stuff to work into right there. Which, that again already is starting to make the views much more intriguing, interesting, and whatnot. Let's try and do something right about here, I would say, maybe. Just having an outside view that comes in. To go up here. Just so that we can start getting that sort of, open-aired feel to it all in a lot of places. And I mean, this is still just a wonderful little balcony to work with. Yeah. Yeah, see, it starts to be a bit more intriguing just by poking a few little holes into a few little locations. If I could not have hiccups for 20 seconds there, please. I would consider doing it over this room, but remember that's a bedroom, so we don't want bedrooms to have overly exposing windows. We'd like them to have kind of, small windows that, overall aren't too much of a watch them while they sleep type thing, but this at least, now brings a view where you can see through there, and, you know, they could see somewhat into here without it being, you know, too weird and freaky. Again, adding to the views that are being built within here. Part of me is also like, this whole interior structure is being a bit noisy right now, but that's fine. We do want a bit of noise. Yes, Wolf Doge, I'm over here talking about how this place has lore now that we're working with. This right here, this is a view that we can tamper with, that I would love. Hang on. Hang on. Actually, yeah, you know what? We can do that, because that then works sort of like a table. And if I can get a, we do still have the invisible bookshelves mod, or not bookshelves, and it's not a mod either, it's a data pack. The, invisible, item frames. Yeah, invisible item frames that we can trigger right there and run that with and do that. Let's see here. Who just hurt themselves? You hurt yourself. That's because of the zombie. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay. I need to be able to close this off. They can't be going up here. Yeah, they can't be going up here. That's gonna hurt them if they go up here. Okay, that should at least... Yeah, that caps them. That at least forces them to stop. And then that way I can work on this without causing any more problems, because Wolf Doge just took damage, and that is a scary proposition to have in here. This is why I was like, oh god, we need to be careful with stuff like this. And I don't mind if they climb up here. Up here is fine. It's down there, that, or it's up there that seems to be the problem. But yeah, I want to go get us a sort of painting, and I think I will throw it over that location right there as a sort of, you know, like, intrigue moment. I think we could also do something with some birch trapdoors. That would be, you know, an interesting framing system for it. So yeah, let me go get us a painting, because I believe I can just make us one real quick. Paintings, yeah, you require sticks. That's relatively easy enough. That was a modded moment. And there we go. And there we go. Boop. Yeah, we'll just take that, bring it up. I forget how exactly to formulate the wonderful big painting. But yeah, okay, so we want it to, yeah, because I know that they fill the largest area they can, since, like, a certain update now. I don't think there is a 5er. Yeah, I think there's a 4er, but there isn't really a 5er, that we can use. Yeah, that's, like, this is, yeah, that shape is going to be a bit hard to fulfill. We'll do that, and then we will do that then. Hell yeah, I love that. That is the painting that I would like to be there. That is an amazing painting for us to run with. And now, if we look at this from here, you know, there's a nice little splash of color that draws your eyes over to here, but there's also the addition of all of the little interactive spaces that we've been working on, the little pushes and pulls everywhere. And then, you know, standing from over here, you can start to get some of the other ideas going in as well. I definitely think we want that to be open, just because it It's another spot that is basically straight to outside that would work as a nice window. So we're going to do that now. Do-do-woo. Do-do. Do-do-do. And boo-boo-boo. There we go. I did lock myself out doing that, but that's okay. Now, I would go in and start trying to decorate rooms and stuff like that. However, I do still want to leave room decoration for basically I need to talk to the people who own the rooms, and I need to basically give them, you know, give them their layouts to tell me what they want effectively, and go from there. Because yeah, and I am going to just move this into Deadmoth's room, since Deadmoth has sort of reclaimed this as their room. And also, you know, like, this is a relatively interesting spot for a, what's it called? A window. Just because, like, from here you don't even really see anything. And we'll put up some banners or something as a sort of, like, draping system to imply that, you know, like, it's up to them that stuff is open, basically. Actually, you know what? We can do that right now. We've got the stuff for it. Let's do it. I mentioned it once. I might as well go through with the concept then, you know? Like, once I've mentioned the idea, I might as well go through with the concept of said idea. Banner. Banner. We really just want these. I'm gonna say, well, hang on. Let's take, I think there was like 3 windows so far that I've done where I've kind of like, I kind of would expect there to be some draping being used. Like this one is one that I could expect some draping being used. Just because, you know, that type of, you know, that type of view is not always appreciated. Now, I will admit that these banners are not doing the best at their job. Hang on. Is it... Do you place them there? No, you definitely don't, because the stick. It'll be fine. We'll make it work. Do. That does that. I mean, at a glance, it kind of does what you'd expect it to do. And that's all we really care for, is that at a glance it works. So I guess, you know, that is a fair statement for how to do this. I also wanted to grab a sign, and I forgot to grab a sign. Why did I forget to grab a sign? Sign. Signs. Grab one of these so that I can use it. Is there item frames somewhere in here that I can borrow? There was a sign right there. Of course there was. Why wouldn't there be? Yeah, let's also take that so I can get some roofing done. Yeah, sign. First, I do also need to go sit in a bed, or sleep in a bed real quick. Because, yarp. Of course, monsters nearby. Making this not an easy job for me. We don't have anybody up here yet, I'm sure. Alright, fine then. I'm gonna go take my bed and run it somewhere else. because I need sleepies. There we go. And that will save me. I don't like the statement zombie villager being attached to one of those right now. Yeah, zombie villager is not the term of phrase that I like to see. How are you guys doing? Wolf Doge ran over to here. Are you doing alright up here, buddy? Where is our nobody right now? Because that's a guy that I just realized I haven't seen much of this stream is Mr. Nobody. And that's starting to have me get worried again. Oh, wait. Oh! We have a librarian that magicked himself into being a librarian. I'm assuming it's because you walk down here, grab this, probably, and now have that as your workstation, I'm betting. I will also say, I did originally at one point want to put a sort of directory here. I think we will still definitely do the directory here, but it's going to be a directory that I keep, or that I probably don't use for a while. So yeah. However, I do feel pretty happy with decorating this place. Let's go get ourselves a sort of... Let's go grab us another, name, I guess, since, Respiration 3 actually is a kind of decent book. At least for, you know, what it is, because I think Respiration 3 is the max that you can get as an enchantment. Which does mean that I do also want... I need my emeralds. That's what I really need. I need emeralds. And we'll go from there. And we'll get us a new villager name for the area, seeing as we haven't really done one of those in a while. And that'll be nice. Having a new villager in the area. Now, of course, this is assuming that I have all the stuff to get us, you know, send name tag quickly. I don't think we do. But in the case that we do, and God, I really just need another chest, is what I'm realizing. Like, leave it to me to just need more chests, really, in all honesty. And just... Yup, just throw everything on in there. There we go. That's nice. Get it all out of my inventory. There we go. Let's go grab a bunch of sticks, and grab our emerald supply, just in case we actually do have enough. Bunch of sticks, and our emerald supply. Then I think I might name it after another one of the M.Dot beta testers, or another person in the Discord. Oh yeah, no, we definitely do not have enough for what we need. Which is a womp womp, but what can I do? Ooh, that's another thing I should probably go grab, is some leaves. Some leaves would really entice that place up a bit. Especially because I could use some of the leaves as sort of some natural, you know, like, just putting some greenery up would be nice, basically. Whoop-de-doo, de-woo. You get yoinked. You get yoinked. And get us some nice... I don't know why I wanted to craft that. There is nothing that really needs crafted. What needs done is more trading. you're in your room, I believe, Dead Moth. Yep, you are. And woo. We just grab a bunch of stuff, and I think that actually is enough for us to get us a name tag for the new Nobody Villager. Is that enough for a name tag? It in fact is. Okay, that's sick. That's awesome. And yeah, if I remember correctly, we don't really care about Wolf Doge's other books. We just care about the Mending book. So whoop-de-doo. There we go. Let's go name this then, seeing as we've got it now. And who wants to be named? Let's see here. Probably want to name it... Well, we already have Toaster in the world. I could throw Dino in now. Make Dino a part of the world. Unintentionally, or, well, very much intentionally. Yeah, I'd have to make a good naming scheme for him. Dino Deluxe. How the frick do you spell your name, man? How the frick do you spell your name? Hang on, give me 1 second. How the frick does he spell this thing? Because this is one mess that I do need to make sure I get correct. And of course Discord on my phone is being idiotic. Doop-de-woo. Yep, there we go. And you actually, hang on. This is another spot that helps. Where are you? There you are. Okay, it is spelled. Dino Enthusiast. Dino Enthusiast. I think that's a great name, you know, for him. That works wonderfully for me because that is, you know, that is effectively what he is. Dino Deluxesaurus, Dino Enthusiast. We love this. We love this. We love this type of stuff. So part of it is I am also hoping that naming the villagers will keep them alive, so that they aren't, like, despawning or something, because, I don't know, there might be a despawning algorithm that's being ran or something, because the world just doesn't think them as a useful thing. I think of them as useful, though, and ergo would like them to, you know, stay a part of the world. Okay. Dino, do you still have a job? Dino, do you still have a job? You're Dead Moth, of course. Dino, are you up here? Are you up here? Are you out on your balcony? Where are you? I swear, unnamed ends up just being, like... Okay, you're here. Oh... Did you make Wolf Doge forget their workspace? Ah, you did. Wolf Doge didn't have a workspace because Wolf Doge forgot their workspace. That's an interesting conundrum. Where is Wolf Doge? Where is Wolf Doge? We love playing this type of game called Where is Blank? Because where is the blank? Yeah, you're where you are. Where's Wolf Doge? Wolf Doge, what? Why are you here? I get it, you're visiting, but like, come on, man. Oh my god. I swear. So you are going to be named Dino, but you're going to currently be useless until we can find you a better workstation. Let's see here. Dino the Dino Enthusiast. God, you have a huge name. God, you have a big name. Please. Yep. Okay, cool. Wolf Doge has now reclaimed the workspace, I'm pretty sure. Yep. There we go. You've swapped to that being your bedroom now, I believe. Sir, do you have a problem with in here? No, you just... Hang on. Let me walk past you. You go to bed. You just didn't know where to go with that. Okay. That's fine. Alright. So let's see here. So, obviously, you know, that is a problem we do run into, is occasionally they're going to be a bit rough to get into their requested spots. I'm going to dump all these sticks down, by the way. And then we're going to go grab us our deep slate and let's get roofing because I would like to actually do some of that for what we're doing here. But yeah, anyways, as I was going to say, I also do need to put a floor on the thing above us, so, you know, we'll do that. And then I'll roof out some of the boxes so that we aren't using them, because I'm not going to roof out all of them. That is actively, like, we are expecting to stack off of this stuff, and roofing off all of them means that we're not using them. Let's quickly make us a lectern, since I know we can. And that way we can make Dino have some usage for us right now. That way Dino will still be beneficial to us in terms of what we're doing with everything. Yep, polished deep slate slabs. I should have stayed up there and grabbed some more, but, you know, it is what it is. I will grab some later. Did not mean to place that. That is fine. I will say, I am really liking this build now. Now that I've gone through and done a little bit of detailing in some spots, it is very nice to look at. I do, like I said, want to put some greenery, want to put some, you know, wonderful little touches, but this is a nice location to be in now. I guess you can take this. Yep. Cool. I will, I again wanted to get that there. Yeah, you can't do anything. I'm like, I could put a stick there at least. My brain is going brr. Yeah, what do I want to do? I mean, I said I could start roofing some stuff, and I do need to put a floor on the thing above me. We are almost entirely out of, what's it called? Birch slabs. So we're probably not going to get too much done with this. But, you know, at least some of it done is better than none of it done. Oh, yeah, that's right. I actually need to... Is that slab or not slab? Nope, that is a full block. Okay, that does actually matter for how we're doing it, because it is something that I made into a repeated pattern. Do I have a bunch of that sitting around? No, I do not. Why would I do something like that? Where I make something that requires me to have a bunch of a block, those become rarer and rarer for me to use. Alrighty. So yeah, this entire strip just gets ripped. Because that needs to be all deep slate right there. And it's only right here over that I'm able to use non-deep slate. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. And there we go. Yep. So I will get some more birch for this real quick. And then we will, I guess, also go grab us some deep slate now, seeing as I do need to go grab that. Oh my god, you finally got me to go run somewhere. I guess I probably should, you know, put another dump chest down so that I'm working with, you know, smart stuff here. Do. That way I'm not carrying this all the way around and whatnot. Hopefully, by the way, we will get us like a, we'll get us a nice trade through Dino. And Dino will just be our, you know, our smart way to get some more stuff. It is funny to me that Dino originally was just a tester piece and has now become a full part of the, you know, required to stay alive group. But, you know, I mean, look, we've had him for a bit. We'll have him for forever now as part of this wonderful thing. Do I have any blocks of deep slate? Not there. Do I have any blocks of deep slate in here? Maybe. I mean, there's 11. Stacking a bit is enough for us, I will say, at least currently. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. Go polish my deep slate. Boop. Yep, that for that, and then this for this. There we go. And then I do need some birch wherever I've got that sitting around. If I've got any of it sitting around. I do have a fair portion of it sitting around. That's all I really need, is at least another stack. Whoop-de-doo. Yep. I will say, I do want to also start updating some of the rooms up there, because some of the rooms up there are a little bit on the bland side, and I would like to, you know, continue decorating them, but we're having fun. I've always said that whenever I play Minecraft, it's going to be whatever I feel like doing that day. There's never going to be any expectations I put on myself in terms of getting something done beyond what I just want to do at that second. So that will always be kind of my priority, at least when it comes to stuff. I don't think it's really worth it for me to try and put requirements on me that basically end up putting me into a, you know, overall mess of, you know, like, I don't really, or I would rather do this, or I don't want to do this. Where are you going? What are you doing? What are you doing, Dino? You know, I did just realize, I literally think our staircase actually works as natural deterrent for them to move upwards with how it is set up, or downwards, because I think he was trying to go get himself a job on the downstairs lectern and then kind of just missed. How the frick did you get there? You walked all the way around. Okay, that is important that I do not allow. Deadmoth, where did you go? Where did Dead Moth go? What are you doing, Dead Moth? Where are you? Did you walk all the way down? Did Dead Moth break the spell that was here magically? No. Dead Moth went somewhere. I don't know where, but Dead Moth did go somewhere. You're here. Okay. Cool. They're currently talking about their MDOT characters, I guess. Or something like that. No, I should have saw that one coming. I should have seen that one happening. Alrighty, there we go. That'll at least, you know, pretty up that spot. Right there. And then we go right through all of these. This effectively just is a start to what we'll be building off of for the floor of the next one. Which now, as we know, should be well lit enough that this isn't exactly a worry. Come on, buddy. Let's go. I know you can make it down to there so that I can just witch-eye you. There we go. I'm like, as expected, you're gonna be an idiot. Alrighty, so this spot right here, let's build it up a nice little roofing thing. Because we don't really need it not to be roofed. And like I did say, this does mean we are saying that this will not be used for anything as overage over here. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, no. See, this is one of those weird moments where I'm like, I should technically put it directly on top of that, but, you know, we're doing something funny here, where it's different than what I normally do. We'll just do this. Yeah, and I will then immediately realize that I've kind of locked myself out of doing the thing that I normally do with that. And be like, oh, okay, how do I fix that? We go through Wolf Doge's room. Sorry, construction underway. God, you can do this jump. I know you could. Just not easy. Not an easy jump. The other option is called I just go out and do it anyways out there. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. We'll just build up a few blocks. And put the corners in like I normally do. There we go. That's nice. And that now makes this finally have a bit of a roof to it. This area needs to get roofed off, I will say that. This is an area that does need to get some roofing occurring. Because, yeah, we've done none of the roofing for either here or here, and it does need to happen. And now the thing is because we do have the floor above at least mentioned now, I no longer do have a real valid reason to delay on it. So, yeah, you know, that's basically the sign to go, hey, Dat Boy, start working on that roof right there. And that's not where I wanted to put that. And whoop, grab that. I will do at least a little bit. There we go. Yep, that looks decent. Okay, and now if we run upstairs and see and check lighting, at least, we should be able to see pretty well in here. And God, that roof actually finished off the scene, basically. Like, that really, yeah, that adds that adds a unique focus to it as, like, a way up. Gives it that sort of portal-y feel. All of this stuff really brings out, like, a sort of, you know, energy of, hey, this is the rest location, you know. There's a lot of windows viewing into this place, so you are seeing a lot of the area. You are moving through a lot of the area. There's a lot of movement, basically, is what I'm trying to say. You are not keeping that as your trade, Dino. You impaling 4. I mean, I'll villager cycle a teeny bit while I've got a second here. Channeling. Nope. Come back. Dino the Dino Enthusiast will be our continual little, we're working on it project. Excuse me, sir. Sweeping Edge 3, I think that's the max. It's not a good version of Sweepy Edge, but I think Sweeping Edge 3 is the maximum. I'm not sure. I don't really care innately to take Sweeping Edge is the other thing. That's literally the same one. Every time he walks away, I'm like, come on, dude, let's go. Back upstairs, back upstairs. We're having a chat about what you want to do, you know. He did actually walk outside. That is rare. Prop 1. Are you kidding me? Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, it is going to be one of those things where I'm inevitably going to have to draw out these rooms and then tell people, like, hey, you know, how do you want your room to look, basically? Here's a floor plan. Start just telling me what you want where, and I will do stuff with it. Projectile protection. Not really anything I care for. Riptide 2, that's your bed that I just yoinked. Whoop-de-doo. Come on, man. What do you got? Nothing. What do you got? You're gone. Quit walking away. You know what? Just because I don't want him to walk away anymore. I didn't even check that. That could have been it. That could have been it. What is this? Protection 3? No. Lure 3? No. No. Knockback 2? Efficiency 5. Okay, I need to claim that one. That is one that I can't let slide. That one does need to be claimed immediately. I need paper. I need paper right now. I need paper. Is there any paper anywhere that I have? I need paper. He had a paper trade. Yeah, I need that efficiency 5 trade. I don't really care too much for its value. I don't really have any intent to worry about zombie villagers, period. I just need to get some paper in him so that I can get some efficiency 5, because that is a godsend trade. That is exactly the type of stuff that I need to forcibly give us, you know, whatever I want, basically, in terms of any other future items. Alrighty, there we go. I don't want there. I want all the way down. That's plenty. I need to head down there. I need to wake him up. I need to grab that efficiency book and then move on. And boom, boom. There we go. Well, we're not grabbing the book. We're grabbing the paper. That's what we're grabbing. We're grabbing the paper, not the book, because the paper is something that we can get without a million, you know, emeralds. I think he requested 44 for it, which is yuck. But, you know, it is what it is what we can do. It'll be fine. We'll just use what we can. And I mean, in all honesty, we're gonna have emerald basically on farm at some point in the future. Alrighty. Dino. Mr. Efficiency Man. Yep, you have efficiency 4. Get woken up so that I can trade that. So you are now locked in as the librarian. And I think, you know, for what we've done today, that is a pretty good spot to leave off, I would say. I mean, so what did we get done today? We made Dino our efficiency librarian. We've got all of this figured out. I can literally, you know, do whatever I need to up here. I will say this is something I did just think about because it's a thought process I didn't have the first time around when I was building this place, and it's a thought process that ended up costing me the initial set of villagers because I didn't have the thought process the first time around building this place. Not lighting this area up is deadly to us, and I need to make sure it's well lit, or else stuff from up there will inevitably cause problems down here. Alrighty. Well, like I said, or as I was trying to say, we made this wonderful area. We made all of these wonderful little windows in here. We built up our staircase, and I've gotten it set up to start allowing us to basically invite the members of my Discord to now start telling me what they would like in their rooms and how I can do it. I can show them literally the amount of space that they have and tell them, you know, to tell me what they want where, how they want it, and I will, you know, do it basically. But yeah, with that all said and done, everybody, thank you guys all so much for watching. Have a good one. Hope you all had some fun today. Bye. We now have a wonderful picture that's permanently being memorialized right there, and that is a wonderful picture for us to have. But yes, anyways, thank you all again, everybody. Bye. Woo! Holy